The one team that did not knock free agency out of the park, the one player that did not knock free agency out of the park was Malik Willis, the quarterback, the new quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. Everyone's probably saying, well, no, what are you talking about? What do you mean Malik Willis didn't knock it out of the park? 3 years, $67.5 million, and a total of $45 million guaranteed. Here is why Malik Willis did not knock it out of the park. You know, in the streets, they say all money ain't good money. In the world, they say all money ain't good money. That is how I feel about the contract that Malik Willis signed. If I was Malik Willis, you know what I'd be thinking about when it was time for me to sign my free agent deal? I'd be thinking about which destination best helps me replicate what I did last year with the Green Bay Packers. Let's be very frank and honest, right? Malik Willis, everyone was linking him to the Dolphins for the entirety of this process. And I sat on this show and I told you all several other destinations I'd rather see Malik Willis play. Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan, Sully, as Malik Willis called him earlier today, they're not the reason as to why Malik Willis played well. Malik Willis didn't play well because of defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley. Malik Willis didn't play well because of the general manager, John Eric Sullivan. Malik Willis played well because the Green Bay Packers had an infrastructure and a supporting cast that allowed him, right, to be the quarterback that we saw him be last year. So him choosing to take his talents to South Beach, to me, by far the worst decision of free agency, because the Miami Dolphins supporting cast sucks. I'll be very honest with you. And I know people are going to say, well, they have Jalen Waddle, Lynnell. Well, they have Devon Achane. That's great. Their offensive line was one of the worst in the National Football League last year, and Tua got the ball out of his hands quickly. So I am very, very confused by the decision that Malik Willis ultimately made. From the Dolphins side of things, I look at it and go, okay, you're kind of reverse engineering the process here, right? Normally, teams build up the roster and then drop the young quarterback in. What Miami is choosing to do is insert young quarterback and get the surrounding takes afterwards. Excuse me, the surrounding pieces afterwards. And I guess that's a good time to bring in Lawrence Jones's comment into the chats. Tired ass Lynnell NFL takes. You're going to get takes here that you don't hear anywhere else, because I am the author of Authenticity here on Westwood One Sports Night. And if you don't like it, hit me up and tell me at 310-840-4910. Or you can be like Lawrence Jones and type in the YouTube chat, tired ass Lynnell NFL takes. Look, I know what most people are thinking about Malik Willis. I had to sit and listen to all the shouty shows all day long talk about how good of a decision this was, how good of a move this was for Miami. If you're looking at it from the team's perspective, sure. If you're looking at it from the perspective of Malik Willis, if I'm being honest here, Malik Willis going to the Miami Dolphins almost, in my opinion, ensures that he isn't going to remain a starter long in the National Football League. How long is Malik Willis going to get a chance here in his second act? How long of a leash will he have here in his second act? Because think about his first destination in Tennessee with the Titans. What did he not have there? What did he not have there? A good supporting cast. Why did it not work? Because he didn't have a good supporting cast. I say it all the time in the National Football League when it comes to the quarterback position. All of these dudes that come out of college are talented. All of these dudes that come out of college have the goods. It is your fit that usually determines just how successful you're going to be. And based off of the supporting cast in Miami, in the fit in Miami, I give a rat's ass if Jeff Hafley was Malik Willis's godfather. Damn it. He's not the reason why he performed well in Green Bay with the Packers. He's not. So I'm not totally sold based off of what you saw out of the Miami Dolphins earlier today. There are a bunch of different moves that went down, and we'll get through them as we roll throughout the program. Sam Bruckhouse, SumerSports.com, one of the smartest in the biz, is going to join us coming up in about 15 minutes. But Malik Willis, really the only big quarterback domino to fall earlier this afternoon. We're going to get you some winners and losers here. But right off of the rip, man, I think the first move that jumps out to me is Malik Willis. And I start talking about it in this light, right? Well, Lynnell, if you don't like Malik Willis in Miami, where did you want him? I gave you all several destinations from Malik Willis. I look at the Minnesota Vikings, and by the way, just as big of a loser as Malik Willis is, I think all the teams that did not sign him are just as big of losers. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the Indianapolis Colts, for putting the damn franchise tag on an injured Daniel Jones who's probably not going to be ready for week 1. Shame on you. Poor decision. Right? The one destination that I really circle and go, what's happening here? Malik Willis felt like he was a match made in heaven. Match made in heaven for the Minnesota Vikings. He has, or the Vikings rather have, everything that Malik Willis had in Green Bay that made him successful. Good offensive line. I would argue that this Minnesota supporting cast is even better. But a good offensive line. Really good guys at the skill position spot with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. A defense that last year was a top 10 to 12 unit in the National Football League. That's the destination. Maybe he didn't want to stay in the division. Maybe he didn't want to see his old team twice a year. Maybe they'd have the book on Malik Willis, so to speak. I don't know. But to me, all good money ain't good money. Or excuse me, all money ain't good money, if you pick up what I'm putting down. Malik Willis, the big free agent domino that fell earlier today at the quarterback position, 3-year, $67.5 million deal. That's a $22.5 million AAV. I will say this for Miami. You kind of got him on the cheap. Remember what we were talking about when it came to Malik Willis in his market. Remember what the conversation was. The thought was that Malik Willis was going to get a contract that would net him close to, what, $28-30 million annually? That was the scuttlebutt, so to speak, is that Malik Willis was going to get a big-time deal that netted him an AAV of 27 to 30. That didn't happen. Ends up settling for 22.5, and he's not in an ideal situation, in my opinion. I got Sam Bruckhouse typing at us in the chat. He's going to join us, as I mentioned, coming up in about 15 minutes, one of the absolute smartest dudes in the biz when it comes to talking all things National Football League. He's going to help us sort through all of the big-time moves that we saw here today in free agency. I'll give you some winners and losers as we roll throughout the program as well. But I want to stick on the quarterback position right now because that, to me, that domino with Malik Willis, he was the number one free agent on a lot of your favorite pundits' big boards. And for him to land in Miami at that deal with that contract, I think he could have done a hell of a lot better. The other quarterback domino that we're waiting to fall is Kyler Murray. And now that Minnesota has missed out on Malik Willis, you wonder if they'll pivot to Kyler Murray. Now that Pittsburgh seemingly has missed out on Malik Willis, will they pivot to Kyler Murray? Speaking of the Steelers, I don't have them as an official winner of free agency because I don't like what they've done with the quarterback position. The idea that they're going to wait around here for Aaron Rodgers to make a decision is totally ludicrous. And anybody that subscribes to that being a good idea, check yourself. But I do like what they did outside of the quarterback position.